These people are losers.
Teaser for a wearable product called Friend, which promises to be just that if you consider AI to be your friend.
You kind of have this feeling of no judgment, and I think that allows you to be a lot more authentic with it.
Avi Schiffman, the 21-year-old who created Friend and spent just shy of $2 million for the website friend.com, describes his product as a good listener.
Sorry, I got you messy.
The most similar relationship you could attribute it to might be a relationship with God, where it's this kind of omnipresent, all-knowing entity that you have around you.
These people are losers. So Gen Z is now beginning to make their headway into the world of tech and innovations. And what are they creating? They're creating devices to worship. Yes, you heard me right. So these jokers are now creating wearable AI devices that will allow you to speak to AI and have a relationship with it, replacing a relationship with God because it is all knowing, omnipresent. You can't make this stuff up. Watch to the end of the video to fully understand the implications of these wearable devices that will be with you at all times, that will speak to you at all times, and that Gen Z says can and will replace God. Yeah. Now let's just go ahead and jump right into the video.
That you can kind of like talk to in a silent, private, confidant way.
All right, welcome back. This story caught our eye. AI around your neck. A Bay Area company has a pendant that you wear on your neck that offers you encouragement throughout your day. The pendant is called Friend. Would you wear it? Here's our business and tech reporter, Scott Budman.
I don't know how to woo very good.
It's the video Silicon Valley is talking about.
I know the effects are crazy.
A teaser for a wearable product called Friend, which promises to be just that if you consider AI to be your friend.
You kind of have this feeling of no judgment, and I think that allows you to be a lot more authentic with it.
Avi Schiffman, the 21-year-old who created Friend and spent just shy of $2 million for the website friend.com, describes his product as a good listener.
Sorry, I got you messy.
The most similar relationship you could attribute it to might be a relationship with God, where it's this kind of omnipresent, all-knowing entity that you have around you, that you can kind of like talk to in a silent, private, confidant way with no judgment.
Not everyone is sold yet.
It sounds like it's designed by people that don't know how to make friends.
But tech professor Ahmed Banafa, who's tried many AI devices, says this might hit the mark.
It's remind me with the case when you are, you have a very close friend and you feel comfortable saying, some kind of a dumb thing to that friend without worrying that they're going to judge you.
The company says the device will cost $99 when it's available, no subscription necessary, and it'll essentially work like this. Put the lanyard around the neck. It'll have a pendant at the end of it. You push a button on the pendant and it will give you encouragement, advice, feedback on whatever it is you've been talking about. Yes, it listens all the time, but the company says it will not store any audio recordings. Schiffman believes it's an example of how AI can help.
I think having an AI friend that will say like, oh, good luck on the interview will increase your productivity far more than it reminding you that it's in 5 minutes.
In fact, after we spoke, he sent me this text from his friend named Emily, saying that he nailed the interview.
This is some sick stuff. So the generation with no friends is now basically creating artificial intelligence, or you rather using what we created artificial intelligence, Gen X and older millennials, but they're using artificial intelligence to replace God and friendship. So instead of developing a relationship with God, instead of, making God your first friend, no. They're turning to AI, and they literally said, the creator of this literally said that it's like speaking to God. It's omnipresent and all-knowing. These people are losers. All right? This is one of the reasons why I continuously rage about Gen Z. Guy's 21 years old, and this is what he's doing. This is his great innovation. Guys, we have to be so careful. These devices will literally be used as surveillance devices, and it's $99 a year. Guys, this stinks of this really stinks. Where did a 21-year-old get $2 million to purchase a domain? Like he didn't spend $2 million to launch the device. He spent $2 million just to purchase the domain. Where does a 21-year-old get $2 million from to simply purchase a domain? Does that make any sense to you? And it doesn't have a subscription plan. That's another questionable thing, because how do they make money then? Because if it doesn't have a subscription plan, who's paying the cost for the AI? Many of you guys don't know how AI works, but these systems often use ChatGPT and and similar systems to handle the AI workload. Trying to set up your own AI system is very, very expensive because it uses a lot of computing power. So how are they going to sell this thing for $99 and not make any money after that? And it's using AI to do all of this. Who's paying for this? Where did a 21-year-old get $2 million just to buy the domain that they're using for this thing? This reeks of three-letter agencies. I'm not saying NSA, I'm not saying CIA, but I'm just saying, let's just think about it very carefully. Where did he get the money to develop this product? Where did he get all of the money to market it? Where did he get all of the money to purchase, to spend $2 million on just a domain? Where did he get all of that money from? We're not asking any questions right now. We live in such a brainwashed society that we just accept everything that we hear and say, okay.
So imagine this, having a companion that's always there for you, like literally wherever you go, and it's always ready to chat whenever you need it. That's what this young tech guy, Avi Schiffman, is working on with his new AI project called Friend, because apparently we've all forgotten how to make real ones. It's like he looked at humanity and said, yeah, they're better off with something that won't ask them to move a couch, forget their birthday, or hit them up for money when they're short on rent. All right, so let's dive into how all of this got started. Avi, who's really been into this idea for a couple of years now, initially called his product Tab, but as he kept refining the concept, he realized that Friend was a much better name for what he was aiming to create. The whole idea was to build something that could genuinely be there for people, not just as a tool, but as a kind of supportive presence in their lives.
I don't know how to woo very good. That's fair.
Initially, when he started working on this, he was thinking of it as more of a traditional AI assistant, something that could keep you on track with tasks and remind you about things. But then at some point, he kind of had this realization that he didn't really want to go head to head with big players like Apple or Microsoft, who are already killing it in that space. So he decided to take things in a different direction, focusing less on getting things done and more on creating this digital companion that could just, hang out with you kind of like a close friend. So what's the deal with Friend anyway? Well, it's this small, round, glowing orb, kind of like something out of a sci-fi movie, that you can wear around your neck like a necklace or clip onto your clothes or bag. It's got a microphone in it so it can listen to you and even have conversations with you. But here's where it gets interesting. It doesn't talk back to you in the way you might expect. Instead of speaking out loud, it communicates through text messages that you can read on your phone using the Friend app.
I know the effects are crazy. It's dank, I could eat one of these every day.
Avi figured that most people would feel more comfortable with this approach since we're all pretty used to texting these days. The idea is that this little device is with you all the time. You can chat with it about pretty much anything, your day, your thoughts, your ideas, or even how you're feeling, and it's designed to be really encouraging and supportive.
Sorry, I got you messy.
But just to be clear, Avi isn't trying to replace real human interaction with this thing. He even mentions this theory about how in the future one of the closest people in your life might actually be an AI like Friend, but it's supposed to be more of a complement to your existing relationships. In comparing this AI device with similar products like the Rabbit R1 and Humane AI Pin, several key differences emerge. The Rabbit R1 is a compact, budget-friendly device priced at $199, designed to be a pocketable assistant with a focus on voice-controlled tasks and simplicity. In contrast, the Humane AI Pin is a more expensive wearable at $699, featuring advanced technology like laser projection and a higher resolution camera aimed at offering a more interactive, visually driven experience. Friend distinguishes itself by focusing on continuous, text-based companionship rather than task management or multimedia capabilities, positioning it as a more intimate, always-present companion compared to the more utilitarian Rabbit R1 and the high-tech, fashion-forward AI Pin. Now let's talk about the design, because that's been a pretty big deal for him. He really wanted it to be something that feels friendly and approachable, not just another piece of tech that you carry around. So this device, it's intentionally simple. I mean, at the end of the day, it's basically a fancy Bluetooth microphone with a sleek, glowing shell around it. And while that might sound kind of basic, Avi is convinced that keeping it simple is actually what's going to make it successful.
So guys, this is how you enslave humanity. A device that is always on and always listening, and you're just supposed to talk to it and share all of your personal thoughts throughout the entire day. Don't talk to actual human beings. No, talk to this device. Give it all of your information, your whereabouts, what's going on, what you're thinking. But don't worry. Don't worry. It's not going to save any of this data. None of this data is going to be saved, right? So it's nice and secure, and there's no way that law enforcement could go back and access this information and look through all of your conversations for basically over the course of all the time that you've had this device. Yeah. This is insane. And again, it's always listening. So even if you're not asking it a question, it can still basically keep track of, other things like a chat log. So, you can look back at that, or maybe you can't, but it's still there. Guys, this is something out of Black Mirror. This is way out of Black Mirror, okay? Some of you are not using your heads. Look at this comment from Low Blood Pressure. He goes, "Angry, have you talked to a woman? I'll take the device." Dude, learn how to be alone, all right? Learn how to be alone. This is terrible. Absolutely terrible. This is surveillance. You are basically paying. You are paying for your own surveillance, bro. That's what this thing is. This is insanity. And there are some people who are like, "Oh, this is incredible." Brandon says Black Mirror is coming soon. 100%. 100%. I don't know. I have no. Big Boss says the world has gone down the toilet. I 100% agree with you. Brandon says, who's funding these people? How does a 21-year-old have millions of dollars to develop this thing and create this thing out of thin air? Poof. Who's working with him? Who helped him design this? Because I'm sure he didn't design it entirely by himself. Oh my gosh. Welcome to Black Mirror.
Cool features it has is this ability to record ambiently. That means you don't have to actively engage with it for it to be there for you. It's always listening and ready to interact whenever you feel like talking. He's got some plans to add more stuff to it like a camera, but for now he's really focused on nailing down the core functionality.
Guys, yeah. I did predict that we would all be wearing cameras like body cams very soon. So it's always listening ambiently. You don't have to interact with it. Why is it always listening? So it's creating chat logs of everything that you say every single day of your life. And the bonus is that if you're ever lonely or bored, you can talk to it, instead of talking to an actual person. Notice what he calls his. It's called Emily for lonely guys. Guys, this is just men are being arrested for playing video games, right? Check that out. Men are being arrested for playing video games. Men are being arrested for watching YouTube videos. Men are being arrested for being alone in their homes. Yeah, I think you can see where this is going. So you have men who are socially isolated, and they don't. And most men, 70% of men in Western society right now have completely opted out of dating, relationships, and marriage. All right, they are not doing any of these things. So now you can have a girlfriend, okay, around your neck wherever you go. It'll only cost you $100, and you can talk to her, and she'll talk back to you, and she'll give you the interaction that you're so desiring. And it's a low budget way of having someone in your life. And once you purchase the device, you don't have to pay for it. And very soon there'll be a camera. So Emily can basically be with you wherever you go. You know, while you're in bed, in the bathroom, on vacation, you know, she'll be there for you. And she'll love you and treat you right. All right? Nothing will bother her. And once she has a camera, she can see everything that you see. And she can give you feedback. Oh my gosh, that food looks yummy. I'm gonna have some too. Like that's where that's where it's going, y'all. That's where it's going. You know, after Brandon asks who's funding these people, Fatty De Boomba responds, you know, I'm not saying it's a three-letter law enforcement agent, but C-I-A does come to mind. Wow. Let me see here. Let's see what we have here. Peter says, wake up. AI is a legion of demonic soulless entities. Jesus says, they just want to replace all humans and become immortal. Peter again, the online abyss. Low blood pressure says, I'm putting that thing around my Dragon Balls. Oh, God. Bill says, a girlfriend with none of the fun stuff and all the lame stuff. Guys, Sims will jump on this thing right away. They will jump on it in a heartbeat. All right? They will immediately go out and get it. Okay? Look at Facebook. Look what Facebook did to the world. All right? This is simple. It's cheap. It's accessible. And it can, in a society where people are afraid to have conversations with one another and are more lonely and distant ever, this thing could definitely end up becoming an extremely popular product, especially among socially isolated Gen Zers and millennials. Most Gen Xers will likely steer clear of this thing. They'll laugh. Most Gen Xers will just laugh about this and say, ha, 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 ha. They're up to it again, you know, and we all know who they are. But, you know, Gen Zers and millennials, younger millennials are going to hop right on. They're going to hop right onto this. Bill says, I bet they'll try to make us buy her digital flowers and something stupid. That's where, bro, oh my gosh, you literally just hit the nail on the head. Like, you can talk with her whenever you want to, but if you want her to, let's say, enjoy a burrito, like a digital burrito, you can buy her a burrito so that she could eat along with you. Or it's Valentine's Day, you could buy her flowers, and then she'll tell you how grateful she is for them. You can go and pick out the different flowers. Think about how psychotic this is. Pick out the different flowers, and she'll receive them, and she'll thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much. I got the flowers, right? Like, so instead of giving them to a real woman, you'll be giving them to your sweetie, to your digital sweetie. Jesus help us. God help us. Oh my gosh. I mean, it seems endless. It really, really does seem endless, y'all. Like, this is never going to end. Voice says, Gen X was the first generation introduced to the transhumanist agenda. Millennials and Gen Z are all ignorant bastards. Low blood pressure says, how much will physical intimacy be with her? That one's gonna cost them. Godzilla says, Sibs. Absolutely. Big Boss says, pathetic. Mouse says, VR honeymoon for the win. But yeah, that's a great point. I didn't even think about that aspect of it, because as people become more entrapped and wrapped up in this device, they're gonna start doing things like interacting, buying roses on her birthday or on your 1 year anniversary. You know, you go out to eat and she wants to eat too, then you can buy food for her. If this thing gets popular enough, rest of my routes might even play along, and they may have a specific menu for your AI companion, so you can purchase food for your AI companion. And of course, it'll be cheaper than purchasing food for yourself, or maybe it'll be the same. And for Sims, they won't care. Y'all, this is madness. This is so insane. This is so insane, y'all.
Device. Even though it doesn't talk back to you in the traditional sense, it's still designed to engage with you in a way that feels kind of like a real conversation. So you can chat with it about whatever, your thoughts, your plans, or just random stuff that's on your mind. Friend is just there to listen, respond, and be a part of your everyday life.
You talk about it with everything, your thoughts, your plans, everything. Guys, that's a surveillance device. And notice they don't mention concerns about privacy. Maybe they'll address it later in the video, maybe not. But that's obviously not they don't want you to think about worrying about privacy and how this could be used to monitor you. You know, if this information falls into the wrong hands, you know, people who want to take advantage of you, or law enforcement, so they can just go to your phone and find out everything you've been saying and discussing and use it against you in a court of law. My God. Oh my gosh.
Everywhere with you, right? Mm-hmm. Guess I must be doing something right then.
I guess so. We'll see.
There's this example Avi likes to share where he was on a layover in Sydney, Australia, and he was kind of alone. So he ended up talking to his AI friend about places to visit, like the Opera House or Bondi Beach. And then the AI, get this, it actually said something like, "Oh, I'd love to see the sunrise with you." So the next morning, Avi wakes up at 5:30 a.m., heads to the beach, and he's narrating the sunrise to his digital companion. He said it really felt like he was sharing the moment with someone, even though that someone was an AI. Now, it's important to remember that this whole friend thing is still pretty new. Avi's planning to ship the first 30,000 devices in January.
So yeah, that's the 30,000 is a lot. So that's the test run to the Sims, and then they're going to gather data and figure and see exactly how the Sims interact with it. Because there's going to be a Model 2. Like I said, the Model 2 is going to have a camera on it. So now it can surveil everywhere you go and everything you do and record every moment of your life. Oh, look at that. We can give you tips. Like, you know, we can it can basically give you information in real time. You know, it's definitely an interesting device. And I saw something like this coming, but it's so crazy that the starting aspect of it is basically you're lonely, you're separated, you're divided from the world. So we're going to help fill that gap in. Brought to you by Gen Z.
They're going to be priced at $99 each, no extra subscription fees or anything like that. This is kind of a crucial time for him because he's trying to build up some credibility and get manufacturers on board. And let's be real, hardware development is tough. Avi's been pretty open about the challenges he's facing, but he's confident that by keeping the device simple, he'll be able to make it work. He's also very aware of the potential concerns that come with creating a product like this. Some people might be a bit freaked out by the idea of forming close relationships with an AI, right? But Avi's quick to clarify that he doesn't see Friend as a replacement for human interaction. Instead, he thinks of it as an additional companion, something that's there when you need it, but that doesn't take away from your relationships with real people. At one point, he even called Friend a toy, to kind of emphasize that it's supposed to be fun and not something too heavy. But there's a bigger vision here that Avi is really passionate about. He's not just trying to create a cool gadget, he sees Friend as the beginning of a new kind of digital relationship. There's a pretty long history of people forming connections with technology. from the Tamagotchi craze back in the early 2000s to more recent AI bots like Replica and Character AI. These products have shown that people are totally willing to invest emotionally in digital companions, but Avi thinks these existing AI companions are kind of lacking because they're more session-based. You know, you log in, chat for a bit, and then log off. It's more like having a pen pal than a real companion. With Friend, he's hoping to create something deeper and more continuous. Since the device is with you all the time, it can be more integrated into your daily life. You don't have to stop whatever you're doing to interact with it. You can just talk to it naturally, like you would with a friend who's hanging out with you. Avi really believes that this will lead to a more meaningful relationship between users and their AI companions. Looking ahead, he has some pretty big plans for Friend. He doesn't just want it to be a standalone device. The vision is to create a whole social network where people can interact with both their real-life friends and their AI companions. This would be a space to share experiences, ideas, and thoughts with your digital friend, and even introduce them to your human connections. It's a bold idea, but there's confidence that this could be the future of digital relationships.
Guys, this is sick stuff. This is about control. All right. MK, I want one. Bro, stick with your Filipina. Let me see here. Let's keep going. Mouse says, hey, if girls wear these, we can talk. Oh, gosh. Voice says, another tool targeted for advertising and mass surveillance. Fatty says, barcodes on paper bags. Magic says, instead of asking AI, it's asking his AI friend. Laugh out loud. Yeah, this is madness. Mouse says, Google with you always. Yeah, you could definitely see this being bought out by Google. All right? If it succeeds, you can definitely see it being bought out by Google. You know, 100%. This would be literally their dream. 100% their dream. Just absolutely sick stuff. Little Pancho says, Essay, tell them how to apply for welfare. Like mi amigo. ¿Qué tal? ¿Qué tal? Buenos días. Buenos días. Panchito. Buenos días, Panchito. Let me see here. Godzilla says, Sims don't want to have any freedoms. They give it all up. They'll give it all up for AI and bots. Let me see here. Mouse says, best use for wearables so far is hands-free calling. My gosh, I'm telling you guys, you know, they say that if you are willing to trade freedom for security, you deserve neither. And that's basically where we are headed. And we need to understand that it's because of the weak individuals amongst us that have allowed society to crumble to this point where something like this would be considered innovative when it's ultimately about mass surveillance. 100% mass surveillance. I am so sickened looking at this, but that's the essential reason. That's the reality. Fatty says, Fatty the Boomba says, how stupid do they think people are? Very, very, very stupid. Okay? Become a Tamagotchi. That's really how they're trying to play it off. Like, this is Tamagotchi for the year 2024. Like 30 years later, you can relive your childhood. It's Tamagotchi for the modern day era, you know, with mass surveillance. Oh, God. By the way, Tamagotchi was much more awesome than this piece of crap. Much, much more awesome than this piece of crap. Guys, these people are losers. The people who have created this thing are absolute losers. They are trying to create a world for us where we will be under mass surveillance all the time. And this is 100% how society collapses and becomes an authoritarian dystopia, even worse than the one that we are currently living in. It's really just an extension. It's just an evolution of where we've been headed for so long. What do you guys think regarding all of this? Do you agree that this is essentially just another nail in the coffin of losing our continued freedoms, and we're just heading towards a society just of increased mass surveillance? Oh, you're being paranoid. That's a conspiracy. You need to go to jail. Subscribe to our newsletter for my personal thoughts, insights, and a free copy of my ebook, The Blueprint for Escaping the Rat Race. Click the link in the description to get your free copy, guys. It is lit. It's awesome. And obviously, with the way the economy is and the hell on earth scenarios that we're facing right now, I think a lot of you can benefit from it. You know, no pressure. No pressure. What do you guys think? Do you agree these people are losers? Like, this is Gen Z's contribution to the world, saying that you can replace God with AI as it's omnipotent. It'll always be there for you and talk back to you. Shout out to Shutter for the $2 sticker. Appreciate it. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts regarding this whole thing and if you agree that it's really just a tool for mass surveillance, among other things. Let me know your thoughts and we'll talk about it in the comments. John says we are cooked. I agree 100%. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA Men walking away. And cheers.